This doesn't do anything. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, be listening for any change.
It doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't
okay.
wiggle.
Okay. All right, okay. I just don't want to get eaten out by the...
Unfounded fear. Is she too far left like that? Is it better this way?
No, you're
Is
fine.
it she's lower than your camera. Is that all right? Should you be lower?
No, I think she's fine.
You can't bend over anymore if you're any lower. That's what determines how high the camera is.
Cloris.
See, my lids are half closed looking down at her. See, if I were lower, see, my eyes would be more open looking. Does that look...
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm...
Here are rolling.
All right. Cloris, welcome back to Texas.
It's so interesting. You're sitting like this and talking, and you're dressed beautifully the way Dallas people dress. And I noticed that, and another actress, well, Annie Potts and I agreed that this is the way people in Dallas, they're wonderful. They dress beautifully and sit beautifully. And I started the interview right up here, ready to, you know, I'm from LA. It's so obvious and funny to see how we all, you know, get our costumes, our, you know, who we all are, and we all see what the scam is, what the garb is, and we all comply. So I'm here. I am from LA, very cash.
We're both in uniform of the day.
Yeah, we're in the uniform of the day and of the city and of the time. It tickles me, though, and I've been all over the country with Grandma Moses last year and the year before. And in Chicago, you just go shopping in Chicago because you have to wear their uniform. And New York, I'm always overdressed. I finally am embarrassed, so I just go and wear any old thing. And you stay in these beautiful hotels looking with jeans. And I don't wear jeans because my legs are too short, I think. I think you need to have a certain look to really look great in jeans. You can edit all this out, and I hope you will.
No, I'm loving it.
Maybe I need to go get another tape.
Oh, all right.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're having audience participation.
I run my own tape. Audience participation. It's pretty funny.
First interview I've ever done with audience participation.
Audience, singular.
That's right. Of course, I always get a case of terminal giggles when I'm with you. And that's why I love to talk with you on any occasion about anything. But we are here to talk about Texasville.
Well, I'm going to sit back and get a little more serious. Although Texasville is very funny, I think. Don't you think? Did you see it? Did you see it?
It has a lot of funny stuff in it, indeed, yes. And I think that will come as a big surprise to many people who are not familiar with the book
I
and
think
so forth.
people get a, there's another word that I'm looking for, but a feeling of ownership about things. What do you call it? If any audience comes up with that word. And people may have an idea of what they want to see in Texasville after having loved the last picture show, and proprietorship, something like that. Which reminds me of another whole story. If you remember that, I'll tell you in a minute. And so anybody who comes with a preconceived idea probably will be swept up with it now, but it's a different look. It's a different time of the world. It's in color. We're all back, but the mentality is the same, and the relationship between characters and in the town, and the town has its own personality, and it pervades everything, I think, and connects everybody. We were so privileged, I think, to be able, in your own lifetime, to go back and having had such a depth of experience, very painful and wonderful and intimate and rich in its authenticity, that to be able to come back and look in again. And we're all older than each of us is, because in actual time we made it 17 years later, but and we made it in 71, but the last picture was supposed to take place in the 50s. So now we're making it in the mid-80s. It's supposed to have been made now. So there was about a 30-year span. So we've all aged, our characters have aged 30 years. So that's interesting too, to to see us all older and looking at each other. And then you look back at young Sybil and young Jeff and young Timmy, and you just, there's a poignancy about the whole thing. This, as there is the poignancy of life, it all becomes a tapestry, and you lose some threads, along the way. And I hope everybody can see the Last Picture Show again. They're re-releasing it, I think.
Yes, I was talking with Peter about that re-releasing, and that's
soon.
Yes,
6 weeks. Something?
Yes, fairly soon.
Very good.
Going back and doing Texasville, was that something you were eager to do, or did you have to think about it?
Oh no, I would want to do it without question. I was doing the Nut House, which was just sucking our blood. It was an hour film show. We'd have to get up at 6, and a couple of nights we worked till 1 the next morning. Certainly 9 every night. It was just killing Harvey, and I was in these big bazooms and buttocks and a costume. I didn't want to sit out the back, so I'd stand up all day in a heavy, hot wig. And it was hard, and I love doing it, but still, all of this time, I was supposed to be doing Texasville, and I couldn't do it. And I think Jeff also insisted with Peter, she has to be in it. She has to be in it. And I said, I will be in it. I'll somehow. So I'd fly down. I flew down at a Saturday afternoon, got there at night, and shot 2 or 3 scenes at 4 a.m. Sunday morning, caught another plane, went back, and started working again in L.A. And meanwhile, the scenes had already been shot, so they were trying to fit me in as if I were off in another area while the whole rest of the cast was somewhere else, and put me in, and that's what we did. And then when I was able to, I went down for 2 weeks and joined the cast then in the things that were planned. But I don't know how Peter was able to coordinate all the different career contracts that everybody else had. We were all working with other projects and doing this. Very hard.
What did the Last Picture Show mean to you and to your career?
I don't think I worked for a year after the Last Picture, after I got the Academy Award. I never count that or pay much attention to it, thank goodness. I don't have to, but I don't. And my family's there, so I'm very happy not to. And but I don't know. I think I was also doing the Mary Tyler Moore Show at the same time, and I came back from doing the Last Picture Show, and I remember talking about the film and telling them about it. Oh, that's interesting. So my life was all caught up in other things at the time. I don't know what other people, you would be able to tell me better about what it did. I think for those people who saw the movie, that stays with them very long. But as I was saying to someone else, there's a whole generation who's never even seen the Last Picture Show. So things tend to go off in their own time frame.
Has it ever been shown on television?
I think so. I think, yes, as a matter of fact. I saw some of it in a Mexican restaurant at the bar in Westwood in Los Angeles one night. We were at a movie next door, and there I was on television, so we saw some of it.
But I think it isn't shown, has not been shown a great deal on television. No. You're absolutely right. Some people, younger people, have never seen it. So, okay. Well, it's been good to see you again, Cloris. And what are you currently doing that you'd like to have a chance to mention?
Well, let's see. I have another film coming out called Love Hurts with Jeff Daniels and Amy Wright, who was the sister in Accidental Tourist. I love her. She's so funny. He wanted to use Laura Dern. It was completely planned. And then Amy went in and just read, and he said, "You're it, that's it, sorry." And he loves Laura Dern, so does everyone, but Amy's so funny. She has this kind of mousy little funny something in her that's wonderful. Cynthia Sykes. It's a wonderful film. Very simple, about a wedding, and I'm the mother. I did a 3-part miniseries, which will be in the middle, I think the 17th of October on NBC, Danielle Steele's book, Fine Things. I'm Mrs. Fine. I'm a nice Jewish mother. I know. Too busy to call you mother, you know. And I dress more the way you are dressing in Dallas. I'm from New York. And then I'm going to do a new series for NBC and Disney, sitcom.
What is it called?
We don't know the name of it yet.
What do you
But our
play?
exec producer writer has won 2 Emmys for Cheers and Taxi and the Tracy Ullman Show. And I think it'll be probably in New York. I believe this happened to the head of television for Disney Studios. I just heard this yesterday. His mother was hit by a bus.
Michael Eisner's mother?
No, the other one.
I'll
Head
fill
of
it in. It's
television.
John.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I know perfectly well. It's just I don't know this minute. Anyway, it's as I understand it, it's a sort of odd couple, like a 20-year-old young black actor who's come to New York, and I'm an older, wiser woman from New York, and I was hit by a bus and went to the hospital. I'm in a wheelchair. I was supposed to go live with my son and his wife and 3 children in New Jersey. And he calls the hospital, and they say, we're terribly sorry, but she's gone. So he thinks she's dead and swallows a bottle of sleeping pills, which turned out to be a laxative. Meanwhile, she's gone back to her apartment in a wheelchair and can't get up the steps, and this young man comes and helps her up, and of course he has the contract. The son has sublet the apartment to this young man, so we both claim the apartment, so we live there together, and then we go on.
Sounds interesting.
I should be able to say that in one sentence.
I
If you
like
put
the
some
way-
ands and buts, I think you can get it.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that, to the movie. Heaven knows what else you'll be doing, you know.
I just got a call
Cutting
to
a
play
record or
lesbian warden in a prison, which we turned down. But that's why I'm here. If I had accepted that, I would have to be there on Monday in Georgia doing that. So, not that lesbians are bad or wrong. It's just that if it's too rushed, and you want the script to be wonderful and perfect. So.
And we
But I
need
think
you
it's
here.
funny that here I am in Texas, or I could be a lesbian down in Georgia, whichever.
And so we go on with the life of Cloris Leachman.
Exactly.
Cloris, you are such fun, and it's
Thank you.
wonderful to see you again.
Isn't my hair
Thanks.
pretty? All done by Dallas.
It
Face
looks great.
by Dallas.
You look wonderful.
Tim.
Yes.
Tim. That's all I know. But you can find out if you call.
All right.
Who should we call? Carol Smith, who is. You have to speak up to
Oh,
a
I
person
know
like
Carol.
me.
She's your Columbia representative here.
Call Columbia Representative Carol Smith and ask for Tim, and
All
she'll
right.
find him.
Good.
Aren't I pretty? Not like the last picture show. I didn't wear any makeup. I was supposed to be 10 years older than I am, and I thought I did it without makeup.
Very brave to do that.
I don't think you're brave. I think it's wonderful.
Well, it's what being
No,
an
but
actress
and I
is.
was clean anyway. If you wash your face,
Yes.
it was. I think people look terrible with, trying too hard.
Yes, I quite agree with you.
If you really are,
Yeah.
whatever's authentic, I think, and if you're clean,
Yeah.
unless you're doing Down and Out in Beverly Hills, in which case you get a lot of money and you're dirty. That's different. Everything is how it's held. Everything is bad or good depending on the context. Really. I was, oh my gosh, does anybody do colonics? Does
So
anybody?
you want to get some reverse.
Do you do?
Yeah.
Just make up scenes. We just have to make things up just to put me in. I thought, well, if I'd been working for him for 20 years and he had his first baby 20 years ago, there, I would be close with his children. Whether they're close to me is another story, but and then he has the twins. So I thought, if I could chase them, since I'm a runner, I thought, well, I'll chase them. So,
Do the story.
uh-huh.
Kind of, the approach.
I love Dallas. I love everything about it.
Are you rolling? Okay. You just talk about it. It doesn't matter what you talk about. Just look at me and talk.
Well, there were 2 Jews in an upper berth. But it's a pretty dirty story.
That's all right.
You're self-conscious now. See, you were better before. Okay, now I'm going to tell you an even dirtier story.
Rolling.
the queen of the trolls. I'm Lenora, the queen of trolls, queen of mean, queen of mean. It's a real rocket.
Sounds fun.
In my kingdom.
Now look at me. Shut up.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, we're not moving. Not moving. Okay, now we are.
What are some of the major differences between Larry McMurtry's book and the movie? What are some of the major differences between Larry McMurtry's book and your movie? Did Larry McMurtry have any input into the film? How much input did Larry McMurtry have into the film? Peter, what is your perception of a Texan? With the last picture show, you were working with a cast of unknowns. Now your people are major stars. What kind of problem was that for you? What about the 6 minutes that will be added to this new theatrical release of the last picture show? Was it comfortable for you and Sybil Shepherd to be working together again? What was it like for you and Sybil Shepherd to be working together again? There will be a video release then of the last picture show? Okay, I think that'll do it. All right, now we can move things around. Okay.